So Douglas started as an engineer and this studio professional as well. So learning the technical side of some recordings before eventually becoming very serious in the industry, becoming one of the industry's most respected producers. He didn't just get into that business. He actually learned about it. He studied about it. Unlike producers who simply publish records, like they just polished records as well, Douglas became known for capturing energy, imperfection, and personality. He understood that great rock music, like which was not, supposed to sound overly clean. It was, supposed to feel alive. There should be this alive energy, not just the sound alone. So Jack Douglas came especially famous for his work, with Aerosmith during his brand's explosive rise in the 1970s. He helped produce some of their most important albums. So all these are things he did while he was still living, including the toys in the attic and rocks. So those records helped define the hard work, the hard rock sounds and of the era. So then those things helped define. So song like Walk This Way and Sweet Emotions become global rock anthems. It became blending heavy guitar riffs with swagger, rhythm, and raw attitude. Douglas was often praised for understanding the chemistry within the band. He was praised especially for the unpredictable creative energy of frontman Steve Tyler and guitarist Joe Perry. The producing aspect of rock bands in the 1970s was really easy. It wasn't very easy. So he took his time to understand what this work was all about. The era was filled with excess and non-stop touring. So all this was things that was happening in those times, and producers often acted as psychologists as much as musicians. But Douglas became respected for navigating the chaos. He became respected for going through all this and also understanding what he was doing there while still delivering records that sounded massive and emotionally aesthetic and also authentic. It's not just about producing, it's also about how it was produced. John Lennon's comeback, he also helped him. But perhaps the most historically important chapter of Jack Douglas, his career came in 1980 after years away from the spotlight. John Lennon was preparing a musical comeback. He prepared for some time. The Beatles star had back from recording to focus on family life, the Yoko Ono and their son Sin. So when Lennon decided to return to music, he trusted Jack Douglas to help shape the project. Not just jumping back into this project, but he needed somebody to actually look into it, touch the areas that were supposed to be touched. The result became double fantasy. It wasn't just music that was produced, but a music that has energy. Douglas reportedly helped create a relaxed, collaborative studio, the atmosphere that allowed Lennon to reconnect creativity after years away from the industry. So it wasn't just an album, it was a music that blended, and the album really blended personal reflection and also maturity, love, and optimism. It's something that got deep into the heart of people. The song like Just Like Starting Over carried symbolic meaning, not just musical but emotionally. It's not something that was just produced. It touched the hearts of people. It felt like the beginning of a new chapter. But the tragedy struck only week after album release when John Lennon was, died outside his New York apartment in December 1980. So this came as a shock to the world. The world was stunned, and suddenly Double Fantasy transformed from comeback album into a final farewell. So just that he had to stay away to spend time with family and friends and even his son, then came back to music to come back again to sing and to reconnect again with people, life and other things. Nobody knew that that was even going to be a farewell. Brother just came to say bye bye. This is going to be my last album on earth. They just buy the guy just like that. For Jack Douglas, the experience became deeply personal and historically significant. The producer who helped guide Lennon back into music also became part of final creativity chapter of Lennon's life. The producer who shaped rock music throughout his long career. Douglas worked with major artists across the rock music, including the Chief Trick, the Alice Cooper, and other legendary performers. So, but beyond technical skills, beyond what the eyes could see, beyond many musicians admired his ability to preserve authenticity. He understood the great records, and they are not just, about perfect notes. They are about emotions, atmospheres, and human connections. So that psychology helped shape and define the entire era of rock music. And even as technology changed, the industry became a new way that people actually adjusted and also adapted with the impact Douglas has pushed in the rock industry remained associated with the classic analog era. So it didn't just stay in the past era, the time when music production depended heavily on instinct, experimentation, and real studio chemistry. So Jack Douglas Pye and his demise is more than the loss of a producer. It represents the fading of a generation that helped build the modern rock culture from the inside. Today's music industry is driven heavily by the algorithm, streaming platforms, and even digital production. Guys, the producer like Douglas came from an era where album was crafted carefully and over months inside recording studios, filled with tensions, filled with creativities and unpredictability. You don't even expect or know what is going to become. He helped shape not just songs but months and moments in cultural history. So his effort was great, and perhaps his greatest achievement was this: millions of people may never know his name, millions of people may have never known him, but it resounds, yet his work became part of the soundtrack of their lives. So from all this, the matter, and even after his passing, every replayed vinyl record, every classic rock radio stations, and every new listener discovering those songs for the first time will continue carrying his influence forward. For more information around the world, just stay tuned. I'm going to keep you updated. Don't go anywhere. Just subscribe to my channel, share this video to others, and tell me what you know about Douglas.